On today's pod, it might be a cursing episode, Bert. I don't know.
I think it will be. Yeah,
there's a lot going on. We got some inner familial, inner podcast network beef going on between.
Man, I was shit on for no reason. Like I was
for having an opinion.
They pushed me in front of a bus. I didn't even get fair warning. It wasn't like, hey, prick your ears up. You might like something you hear on Friday, or you might not like something you hear on Friday. But damn, I didn't. We'll get into that. I have some things to address.
Yeah, Corey, piece of shit.
Piece of.
Sports. I hate when I do that. I hate when I step on Bert. Like he was about to deliver a good dismount for the opener, and I caught half of it, and I played the bumper. My apologies, bro.
We're good.
I do that too much, and I need to relax.
But I was just repeating what you were saying in that epic video, which, by the way, we have to make into a drop at this point.
I know, right? Mike has it. He has a like a recording version of it, but I have to find the original video. I'm sure it was on my old phone, so I know it's gone, but. I'm sure Mike can dig it up somewhere.
Oh, it's somewhere. It's somewhere in the Give Us a Shot verse.
Yeah, it's somewhere out there. But this is Stuff About Sports. We are presented by the mighty Give Us a Shot network. If you were still listening to JT and the Don, I think they're wrapping up their show. We had to do a double booking, but that's all good. You can go back and listen to us later on, which is what most of you people do anyway. Shout out to everybody. Big shout out. Hold on. Round of applause because if I still have the applause button, I don't have the applause button anymore. Oh, yes, I do. To all the people on TikTok who made us go viral, I had a Dylan Brooks rant that we cut up into a clip last week.
You mean the now unemployed Dylan Brooks?
And now, yeah. Shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies. Listen, we don't want people to lose their jobs out here, or not that we're actively rooting for people to lose their jobs, but boy, was I happy when I found out that Dylan Brooks is no longer going to have a job. I know I shouldn't say that to another human being, but he's a professional basketball player, and I'm sure some team will sign him. For as much as he talks, he's not the worst player in the league, but he may have to go over to the Shanghai Sharks for a little while and kind of calm down. Yeah. But I'm sure some team will be desperate enough for his services, and they'll sign him. He'll wither away down there, and I know Oakland's no longer going to have a basketball team, but maybe he can start an Oakland franchise. But Dylan Brooks, you bum! I'm so glad. That guy's out of there. It's the juice isn't worth the squeeze. That's a good old timey fashion saying. But shout out to all of you. 689,000 and a half views. 53,000 likes, 2,600 comments, and growing. Bert, on TikTok, with all the young kids, we went from 400 some odd followers to 3,656 of y'all. Shout out to y'all. Gunshot.
It's the same generation that we were bitching about last week too. Yeah. Thank you for your support. You want to know what it is? It's all those. It's that generation that were smart enough to not comment on. Man, what'd you go off on last week? It was that when you never watched him play the game, don't comment on it.
The stupid podcast idiot kid who didn't know who Mark Price was and said Mark Price would never make it in today's NBA or some nonsense like that. Don't get me started on that guy. Which, by the way. Made it to his podcast Instagram page. Yeah, it made it all the way over there. And Brandon, what's up, bud? Hey, at Give Us a Shot Network is the TikTok. You can follow us. We're there with all the young kids making TikToks, and it's just highlights of the show, takes from all of us of not just this show, but JT and the Don, the Divide Live, High Spot Podcast, Go Talk with Marcus, who will be having a show tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow's show, he'll have a friend of the network, Justin Marvel from This Just In. JT and the Don are on right now. But so if you're not watching us live, you can watch us later. Shout out to JT and the Don and everybody else on the network. But Bert, I got comments directed towards me. Obviously, it was my rant, but Everything on this network is team effort, so we all did this. But since I was the one doing the rant, I got a lot of, who the hell is this guy think he is? Fake ass Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, I got a little bit of that.
Why'd they call you fake ass Stephen A. Smith? Sad part is your takes are more Skip than anything else. Like that's like,
yeah. I'm definitely black Skip Bayless before I'm Stephen A. Smith. I don't know why anybody takes this guy seriously. They give anybody a platform.
He's that guy.
Hey man, all you need is the internet and a microphone. That's it. Like,
yeah. And idiots like you. Hey, so thank you for all the people. And now listen, I'm only picking out the bad ones, and there are not that many bad ones, I will say. I got a lot of, I am the voice of reason, which is great for us. A lot of support. Dylan Brooks is an idiot. This guy speaking the truth. Basically, it's the here we go. If you're saying the younger generation has a problem, it's the older generation who let us get this way. Which is exactly what a stupid young kid would say with zero accountability.
Oh my God. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. No accountability for yourself. You're going to blame everybody else around you. Yeah, you let me get this way. Not, hey, I'm not acting right and you're voicing your opinion. And I disagree with it, so therefore it's your fault. What a bunch of losers.
It's you could tell who still lives at home with their mothers by the types of comments that were being left. But there's 2,000 some odd comments, and I would say about 95% of them were generally supportive and positive, and obviously you guys like it. So we will try to continue to give you some of that good content. Bert, actually, I'm gonna switch it up. I know what we talked about pre-show, but because it's probably going to be the shortest of the segments, I'm just going to go ahead and give you my top 5 NBA playoff observations, only because shout out to our guy Joel Embiid for finally winning his MVP, and it's well deserved. He got it right before, probably around 7:00 today. So shout out to him. And so that will, as I pull up my notes here for the observations, my first observation is that no Embiid, no problem. The beard is back. He had 45 points, Bert. Nobody gave him a shot. Idiots like Max Kellerman and Monica McNutt and Nick Friedel, who's added at least 36 pounds since the last time I saw him last NBA playoffs, said that the Sixers had no chance. And the Sixers went out there and won game 1, took home court advantage. And so it's just funny that the guys will say, oh, the old James Harden, we need to see that guy. Even though it was 8 years ago, Bert, I don't know about you. I don't move the same as I did 8 years ago. I think it's very unfair to ask James Harden to do that. But a 45-point performance, he came out and represented very well for us. So that was that. My number 4 observation, playoff Jimmy Butler is beautiful to watch, like dolphins jumping in the ocean. 56 points. He eliminated the Bucks in 5 games. Now he tore his ankle up, and I believe the Heat still got the victory over the Knicks. So, shout out to Jimmy Butler. But yeah, something about him. Jimmy Buckets, underrated basketball player. So shout out to him for being him. Number 3, Bert. We asked for it. We wanted it. LeBron versus Steph, Part 6.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to be a fantastic series, I think. Though Steph Curry is 15-7 versus LeBron in the playoffs, including a 3-1 championship edge. LeBron got that one championship in Cleveland. And then if you want to count the play-in tournament, they played a couple years ago in the play-in. So technically Curry is 3-2 versus LeBron in the playoffs. But if you want to do just finals, Curry's 3-1. Can't wait to see what happens this go around. But so shout out to them. Number 2, Bert, the Phoenix Suns are burnt out. CP3, more like C3AARP, Bert. Death, taxes, and Chris Paul hurting his groin in the playoffs. A tale as old as time. I mean, this guy every year. Now, I don't want to speak karma because Joel Embiid's hurt, and it's the same thing with him too. But we're talking about Chris Paul now. time's running more out for Chris Paul than it is Joel Embiid. I also want to point out that their starting center, who bitched and moaned and cried and complained all last season about a contract, making $32 million a year, was standing there. And if zero effort was a person, it'd be DeAndre Ayton. Literally watched him stand there while Nikola Jokic tipped the ball off of a rebound that they were fighting over. Well, the Suns and the Nuggets were fighting over. And DeAndre Ayton, their starting center, was just standing underneath the basket and did not move at all and tried to get the ball, while Jokic put his hands on it about 4 or 5 times before he ultimately came down with the rebound. That's what $32 million in the NBA gets you, folks. DeAndre Ayton standing there like a twig. So shout out to the Nuggets. Deserve credit. They're deeper. The Suns are in trouble. Kevin Durant can't do it by himself, and Devin Booker, they just haven't had enough time to gel, and they don't have the depth. And that in the playoffs, you need depth. Outside of the Nuggets, the Sixers are the deepest team in the league. Or outside of the Sixers, the Nuggets are the deepest team in the playoffs. The Suns might get a game in Phoenix, but I don't see them beating them at all. And my final observation, Bert, is that Mike Breen has been replaced by Kevin Harlan as the best NBA commentator. Mike Breen is a one-trick pony. All he has is his signature bang whenever anybody hits a three-pointer. But you can't bang everybody, Mike Breen. All right? This isn't Vegas. You can't just give out the bangs to everybody. It makes it less special. You have to have general. Like, the catchphrase is too good, and when you overuse it, like Max Strus is getting bangs from the corner now. I don't understand it. Kevin Harlan does it for TNT. He's the best. And so you have now been replaced. And those are my NBA playoff observations this week. We get the games. Well, there's another observation bonus. Outside looking in, OLI. They changed the playoff format, Bert. So game 7 of one series is still being played, or round 1 of one series was still being played as a game 1 of the second round series was tipping off at the same time.
Yeah, that was Sunday,
I've never
right?
seen that. It was Sunday. The Warriors and Kings were playing their game 7.
Yeah, while the Heat and Knicks went off, right?
When the Heat, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, have I never noticed that before? And come to find out, no, this is just the first year they've done that. And
I guess because they figured the East wrapped up, like we may as well, but like still, like that's
odd.
Man, you want to talk about disrespect.
Disrespectful.
Yeah.
Speaking of disrespectful, Bert, your brother.
Yeah.
All right.
And not just him, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's say he was aided, abetted, and goaded into this shit too, you know? And listen, those of you that listen to The Divide, and look, great show. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when you empower that guy named Corey to think that he knows everything and anything about hockey, it's fucking annoying. It's annoying for me. It's annoying for me as a Ranger fan now that the Rangers got smacked around yesterday. Now, listen, I was hurting all day today. Those of you that listen to this show know that I'm a diehard Ranger fan. And those that listen to The Divide may know that Corey, my brother, is a Devil fan. So there was certainly a house divided over the past week and a half. I went to Game 6 on Saturday at the Garden. It was awesome. Loud as can be. Came away on an absolute high thinking that we were rolling into Game 7. And it was going to be a close one. And then Game 7 happened last night. And you have to give credit where credit is due. The Devils were the better team. They were the better team all season. Granted, the Rangers had an all-star roster with the addition of Tarasenko and Patrick Kane at the trade deadline. They had a deep all-star team. Except their coaching and adjustments, especially in the game, weren't there. For some reason, we couldn't figure out how to score on a 6'5" mutant of a goalie that the Devils had. He still wasn't the best goalie of that series. I still think it was Igor Shesterkin of the New York Rangers because he saved more scoring opportunities and scoring chances because the Rangers really didn't put any scoring chances on Akira Schmidt. So, and to top it all off, probably what stings the most out of all this is ESPN's coverage, particularly when they have Sean McDonough in the booth and Ray Ferraro in between the benches. I don't know what New York Ranger banged Ray Ferraro's mom, sister, and wife at the same time, because the way he calls games for the Rangers, you would think that, honestly, somebody literally banged every single woman that's close to him and then set his house on fire while laughing at him. Like, it's just insane, the bias. But anyways, what I want to get to is Friday, the divide, and adding salt to the wound, by the way, they cut up this clip and put it on social media not even 30 seconds after the Rangers lose last night. I opened my Instagram to that. I want to get my mind off of the embarrassment my team just witnessed. And okay, what's this? Boss man is posting something that's hurtful for me after everything we've been through. No. Corey predicts that the Devils win in Game 7, and then go on to say that, Bert knows nothing about hockey.
Yeah.
After all the shit I talk. Now, we'll rewind the tape. I didn't talk shit on the Devils. I didn't even make a prediction to the series. I said this 2 weeks before the regular season ended, Jerm. We sat on this show for a too early preview of what the NHL playoff looks like. And I said, I would be nervous going against the Devils the first round. I said that as a Ranger fan. I said, they're the only team that scares me for the Rangers to go up against first round.
Sure did.
And then when I knew that, like, I didn't talk shit. And even after Game 1, I didn't talk shit on the Devils play or the series or how the Rangers are going to blow them out. And even I'm getting texts from mutual friends that have myself and Corey on the thread. And after Game 2, when the Rangers completely blew out the Devils again for the second game in a row, one of them said, come on, Bert, talk your shit. And I politely said, I'm not going to talk shit until the series is over because I know anything can happen. Now, what I did talk shit on were Devil fans.
Yeah.
And guess what?
You were right.
I was right.
Yeah.
It's still true. Now, look, I'm not saying my fan base is much better, but Devil fans, what I'm saying is act like you've been here before. Mm-hmm. Act like you, I don't know, maybe won a first round playoff series since 2012. I know you haven't. And this is all relatively new for you in the past 11 years. And for anybody listening saying, oh, it's just a butthurt Ranger fan. Yeah, it is a butthurt Ranger fan. Guess what? I have a microphone and you're going to listen to it.
Yes, you
so act like you've been here before. Act like it's just the first round and you still have work to put in. You still have dues to pay. You still have games to win. You need to win 12 more games to hoist that cup. You've done it 3 times in the past 30 years. You should know what the fuck I'm talking about. And yet here I am online. And look, the trash talk, it doesn't bother me. What bothers me is your corny team on social media making corny ass jokes. Your mascot has a Twitter handle that went back and started calling out Ranger fans for the tweets they made about the Devils in October of 2022 when the season began.
Yeah.
I would have picked something a little bit more recent, maybe Ranger fans talking shit during this series, but hey, New Jersey Devil mascot and the social media person behind that account, do what you have to do. Mm-hmm. I've seen t-shirts of a New Jersey Devil mascot climbing the Empire State Building that's lit up in red. Cool. Sick burn, that's you crazy. Guys. Oh, crazy. Man, that's wild. I'll tell you what, when you lose to the Hurricanes in the next round in 6 games, which is exactly what I have you doing in front of your own crowd during Game 6, watching your fans, half-filled arena cry on their way out, you can take that shirt and you can raise it to the rafters because guess what? You beat the Rangers in the first round. So you may as well just call the season a success now, right? I mean, why even go any further?
Just deliver the Stanley Cup to Jersey.
Or instead of like raising that t-shirt to the rafters, I don't know, raise a banner that says you beat a Rangers team with Tarasenko and Patrick Kane, because that's all the trash talk that I've been hearing. And yes, we had an all-star team, but it didn't click. It didn't work. You guys were the better team all season. You were 1 point out of first place in the Metro Division going into the playoffs. So, I mean, we knew it was going to be close, and not for nothing. I mean, I still don't know why Vegas it was a close odd-wise, but had the Rangers coming out on top by a little bit of a favorite, but no. So, listen, Devil fans, have some respect for yourself. Maybe start talking about the next round instead of basking in your glory. Now, I know it's not even been 24 hours, but guess what? You play a game tomorrow. How about focusing on what you're going to do next? But I understand it's a huge rivalry, Cross River rivalry. It's the same as you would get with Boston Yankees, Mets, Phillies. So go on, talk your shit. But God, at least be creative about it.
I did not talk shit about the Devils.
No, I did
Bert
not.
Clinton.
Yep. Hey, listen, I'm only going to sit here and tell the truth. I will always talk shit on Devil fans. And I feel bad because you've had a relatively good hockey team. I still don't understand. And I'm excluding my brother out of all this because at least he's a knowledgeable hockey fan that watches the Devils. But let's be honest with you. A good portion of your franchise doesn't know hockey. And they're probably the same individuals that show up just to eat the shitty arena food you have there. So, I mean, the second that, you struggle filling seats, even in exciting seasons or playoff positions, I mean, that's where I have the issue. And then you want to look at my fan base because we're so passionate and we actually fill arenas like, oh, yeah, you guys suck. Now, granted, I will say and I've been doing this to myself going on Twitter all day, to you Ranger fans that were there last night, crying, yelling, and to the one Ranger fan who punched I guess one of the Devils street team guys who was holding up a sign after they scored a goal. Man, fuck you. You give Ranger fans a bad name. I hate that shit. It's okay to root for your team in other buildings, but guess what? It's also okay for other individuals to root for their team in our building or their own building, right? You know what you do? You take the loss and you leave. If they want to make fun of you, that's what you get. Your team just lost. But for you to get so angry to start punching other people, that is so dumb to me. You give Ranger fans a bad name. On behalf of all Ranger fans, to any Devil fan that saw those videos or saw Ranger fans act a fool, I apologize. That is not who we are as a fan base, and that is not what we should represent. And honestly, it's disgusting. And if I were there and I saw that happen, I would jump in and beat the shit out of that guy. I don't care if he's wearing blue. I don't. You don't do that to other people. It's dumb. I've seen it happen at the Garden where Ranger fans are throwing shit at other fans, and I'll be the first one to step in and say, knock it off. Like, it's just so dumb. Let people cheer for their team. But anyways, second round predictions.
Hey, Bert. Hey, hold on. Let that shit breathe, dog. That shit was nice. Hey, now I will say I don't like that what you said. I did see a clip of that, but I did also see a clip of a Devils fan walking up to a Rangers fan, and then the Rangers fan choked him out. I personally enjoyed that one.
You mean he ran up on him, or?
Yeah, they were like, you know, like when you go between the lower bowl and the mid bowl, and there's like that little platform where the stairs are at. I guess they were off to the corner there. And the Rangers fan was tucked in the corner, and the Devils fan was on the stairs. And the guy had, you know, and you knew the Devils fan was trouble because he was wearing a backwards cap. Yeah. And all you backwards cap wearing guys looking for trouble. So I guess the Rangers fan was, you know, the Devils fan got into his face. So, I mean, at that point, fair game.
Yeah.
And the Rangers fan choked his ass out, which was
man. But I mean, look, the game on Saturday in New York when I was there were Devil fans there. I passed them. I just, you know, you do the friendly thing. You do a quick boo, you laugh about it, you chat it up, like you make fun of each other. That's fine. I did see a Devil fan there, though, who was wearing shorts, which I thought was weird to a hockey game in New York when it's 40 degrees outside. But also, he had a custom, authentic Devils jersey. And also, by the way, backwards hat. All black Devils hat, which I don't mind. I like the all black hats. I think they're sick. But it was the Devils jersey that actually got to me because not only was it personalized, it was personalized with Trump 24. And I shit you not, I was just like, if you're going to pay that much money for an authentic jersey, can you at least just get your own name? Now, his own name could have been Trump. I don't know. I'm just speculating here because something else about him seemed a little racist, seemed a little bigoted, seemed a little bit like, oh, this is my world, white power-ish type thing. I don't want to judge a book by its cover, and I'm not saying all Devil fans are like this, but this particular individual had it. So something tells me he really does enjoy Donald Trump, and I thought that was the corniest thing in the world.
So what Bert is saying, because we don't like to label people on this show.
Oh, no.
So we're not calling you racist, Mr. Devils fan, but what we are saying is that you're displaying characteristics that of a racist.
That particular Devils fan definitely was.
All right, so we're covered here. Steve Waldman, residential Rangers fan, said fuck the Devils, but he blanked it out, but we can curse.
Yeah, man,
show.
it's been a rough day of just thinking like, how can they just blow up the team and make it better? And I look, my own personal take on the Rangers, and then I'll get into my second round predictions. I already gave the Devils Carolina one, but honestly, I think the Rangers need a new coach. You don't have that much like depth and stardom to not make not only in-game adjustments, but adjustments from game to game. And it just seemed like they started out hot. Devils, Lindy Rupp, great coach, made a goaltender change. The Devils found their game in game 3, and the Rangers never recovered from that. I think game 6, they played well, but we also got lucky with a lot of shots too, and a lot of breaks our way. But to get smacked around the way we did in game 7 is absolutely unacceptable. If you're going to force a game 7, at least show up. And it was absolutely abysmal from opening whistle to ending whistle. Now, I will say,
wait, Bert, before you do this, I'm going to drop this thing on Corey because I'm going to let you cook in a second. Okay. We like to tell the truth on stuff about sports. I can't say anything about those guys, those Cowboys over on the Divide Live. We like to keep it respectful here. But when Corey went on that tangent, I was shocked and appalled. And I don't know, Corey sounded a little bit like
liberal media.
That's all I'm saying. I just wanted to. It was a little liberal media-ish, just the way he's just attacking you and going crazy.
Man, he was going nuts. And we went, I will say, being in the situation of, because the way hockey's set up, I mean, there's a good chance that we're going to play the Devils in the playoffs almost every year if they're this good.
Yeah, right.
And going against my brother it's rough, even text wise. And I try to be respectful. There's no name calling. There's no anything else. But like, you know, man, last night when he sent me a picture of that dumb shirt of the New Jersey Devil climbing the Empire State Building, I lost it. I was just like, oh, cool. It's like that. I was like, congratulations. I was like, yeah, celebrate this. You know, I just went off.
Have some couth, Corey.
Yeah.
How dare you do that to your brother? How dare you?
Well, I get it, dude. Hey, 2012 was the last time they won a playoff series. I understand. You know, if I went 11 years in a dry spell, I'd be celebrating absolutely everything. But guess what? I took off my Ranger gear. In fact, I quickly took it off and threw it across the fucking room last night. And then
I'm also tired of Aaron Rodgers showing up at all the New York fucking games. He was at the Rangers game.
He was at the Ranger game Saturday. I did say, I texted the group. I said, if they win this game, I'll never talk. Was it the game? I'll have to go back and look at the text. I don't know if I said if they win this game or if they win this series, I'll never talk bad about Aaron Rodgers. So next week, if I start talking bad about Aaron Rodgers again, you know I said if they win this series and they lost.
Gotcha.
But
prediction time.
Yeah, prediction time. So listen, Canes Devils, it's going to be a good one. Here's why I have the Canes in 6. I think the Hurricanes are more physical, and when you get physical with the Devils, they're going to knock them off their game. What the Hurricanes need to do is actually just take Jack Hughes completely out of the picture. Now, what scares me a little bit on the Devils side is some of their deeper players, like Thomas Tatar, started to heat up in Game 7. But what you also have to look to is Nico Herscher, virtually obsolete aside from, I guess, some really good two-way play and setting things up. But like, I don't even think he recorded a point for the Devils. And then Timo Meier, he looked rattled the second we started getting physical with him. And by we, I mean the Rangers. So I think if the Hurricanes stay on that plan and try to slow down the Devils' pace, which is what the Rangers tried to do, and get physical, the Hurricanes have depth enough and an experienced playoff team to take it to the Devils in Game 6. The Devils also have a young team. I think they'll be tired. And then I also think that they're going to switch goalies whenever they get a little bit nervous, which might not be too consistent. So look, Canes in 6 out of that series. Toronto and Florida currently going off right now. Florida's winning 3-2, which helps my prediction even better. Florida just knocked off the Boston Bruins, the best team in the NHL history, with 65 wins in 7 games. They are on a tear. They have momentum and they have such drive. They have a sick forecheck. They have goal scorers. And when you have a veteran goaltender like Sergei Bobrovsky, it's going to make it all the better. Now, the Leafs are the higher seed. They're in Toronto right now, so they have home ice advantage. But even what the Leafs just proved against the Lightning, it really doesn't matter if they're on home ice or not. I think that series is also going to go 7, and I think you'll find it might go back and forth a bit. So I think Panthers take tonight. I think it'll go to Toronto, and then you'll see the Panthers win 6 and 7 to close them out. I actually have Florida winning that in 7 too. So my prediction for the Eastern Conference Finals is actually going to be Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. On the West, I'm going to be honest with you. I like the Oilers over the Golden Knights. The Knights are a higher seed, but the Oilers are hot right now. And as I said last game, you have last week, you have a high power offense when it comes down to Hockey Jesus and Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And then you also have Nugent Hopkins on there too. So it's a force to be reckoned with. And then honestly, Dallas and Seattle, my head is telling me go with Dallas, but man, I like the way Seattle's moving. They just knocked off the Avs, and I want to see this expansion team go at least to the Western Conference Finals. So I'll say, at least for Golden Knights Oilers, I'll say Oilers in 5. For Seattle and Dallas, I'll take that Seattle in 6 too. So I think you'll find Western Conference Finals going to be Oilers and Seattle.
Who's going to the Stanley Cup?
Man, I think I do like the Oilers in the Cup. I do. I think I said that a couple of weeks ago too. They scare me, and when they get on a tear, I just think there's honestly no stopping them. From the East, that's tough. If Florida keeps their momentum, I think the Canes should be nervous. What gets me about the Hurricanes, and they're always a tough team, they have an outstanding coach in Rod Brindamore, who's not only been there before, but has the respect of his players because he's done it, particularly for the Hurricanes. So when you have a guy in that position who's lived it before, something magical can happen. So I'll say if Florida comes away with the win in 7, as I predicted, I think they go to the finals. But if for some reason Toronto comes out on top and the Canes advance, I like the Canes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Canes beating Toronto,
mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna go. I like Seattle, but we just talked about Connor McDavid having to start winning some championships. So I think this is I think I'm gonna have the Oilers and the Canes, even though I would love Seattle to be in the Stanley Cup. But I think a Western Conference Finals is good for an expansion team that's only been around 4 or 5 years, if that.
So this is I overheard an interview with Gary Bettman on one of our local sports talk radios, and Gary Bettman, the commissioner of the NHL, when he talked about how the cap hit and the revenue share helps these smaller market and expansion teams. You take the Golden Knights, their first year in the NHL, they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. They lost, but they made it. And now, not even 4 years later, we have 2 expansion teams in the semifinals. More or less.
The Golden Knights and the Kraken.
The Knights and the Kraken. So I mean, shit. If for some reason both of them advance, you'll have an expansion team back in the finals again. And for the Kraken to do it in year 2, all the better. You love to see stuff like that. I honestly think baseball should adopt something like this, but they don't, and that's why we see the same kind of players in it year in and year out. So yeah.
Before we move on to the Panthers, because there is some drama in the Stanley Cup.
There is
drama that I like, but I don't want to lose the thought when you were talking about the Devils fan wearing the customized jersey.
Yeah.
I'm not really a jersey guy. Where are you at on wearing jerseys? Like, is it okay, or is it
I like it. I don't mind it. I don't wear it. So some of you may know, because I've referenced it before. So I split season tickets with a couple of buddies for the Rangers. So I go into at least 10-12 games a year, and I'll switch it up fashion wise. When you go in, sometimes I'll just wear a sweatshirt. And when we went to the Hurricanes Rangers game in Carolina, it was just a sweatshirt that I wore. But sometimes I'll wear the jersey. It really depends. I try not to buy as many jerseys. I only have 3 of them. One of them is an old school Brian Leach one, and then I have more. I just don't wear my Lundqvist one anymore since he retired. Even though I could, that one's got bad juju for me. Anyways, look, I don't mind it. I'm okay with it. I know some people are totally against it. I think it's fine. Here's what I don't like: personalized jerseys. So I don't like, if you're going to wear a jersey, either wear it blank or wear someone who's on the team or used to be on the team and is somewhat respectable. If you start personalizing it, like even the funny ones, like when someone's like, 99 problems and his girl's like wearing 8-1, I'm just like, all right, you spent that much money on
that's
that.
Corny.
Like, that's dumb. And like same dude, like the Trump dude. It's like, even if that was your personal name or even if it was for Donald Trump, that's just dumb. So get a player you support, show your team some fandom. But no, I'm all about that life.
So I'm not a big jersey person of players who are currently playing. One, there's just a lot of player movement, and I think I went through a stretch where every jersey I bought, the player was off the team within a year. So I said enough of that. Now that was many, many years ago. I love throwbacks. I believe in throwbacks. If you have a Hall of Fame player, I think that wearing a jersey out and about is okay, specifically to games too. But I disagree. I do like personalized jerseys. Again, if they're creative. Trump jerseys, not great. That's weird.
No, dude, let's just call it anything political. Don't don't. It's so funny because they're the same people that have an issue with like Colin Kaepernick kneeling, saying that's too much of a political statement, or the same dudes getting political jerseys. It's like get the fuck out of here.
I bet you that guy was cursing Colin Kaepernick out all the way up and down the street and calling him all types of names.
Absolutely,
wears a Trump jersey, which is says a lot about you. You're out
probably
there wearing
cried during the national anthem too.
Trump personalized jersey probably means to me you've never touched a vagina before. But like I seen a Sixer older gentleman wear a Sixers jersey, and his jersey was personalized. Now it was the old when the Iverson jerseys, because this was years ago too. But it said his name was Fan Since, and then it was like 74 or some shit like that. Okay. And I said that is pretty cool. I would definitely make a personalized jersey like a Bills one that said fan since '87, since that was the year I was born, and I've always been a fan. But bought DeGrom 9/11 jersey. He's gone. Got gifted a Lindor jersey. Yeah, DeGrom jersey should replace all the numbers out there in Texas with the handicap signal, the handicap sign. The guy's a bum. He's already hurt. Thank God. Yeah. And before we finish up, all you Mets fans that cursed me out the day DeGrom got traded, I remember we did a Mets special, and I said, "Fuck Jacob DeGrom."
Yeah,
big Jacob DeGrom.
Yeah,
what's he ever done? Oh, what he's a legend. Da, da, da. Well, he pitched all these games, got all this stuff. Hey, did he ever do it in the World Series for the Mets? No. The fuck out of here. Sure, broke ass. Dude fucking can't even pitch when it's 35 miles per hour wind out. He'll tear his ACL. The guy's a bum. Hey, can't even walk out to the parking lot. I'm surprised they don't just give him an electric scooter to get from the dugout to the pitching mound.
Yeah.
Fragile. I mean, God damn it. Why are you yelling at me for calling out the truth? Me and Bert, didn't you just hear Bert with his brilliant soliloquy earlier? All we do on here is tell the truth. And I've been telling y'all, this Jacob DeGrom guy is no good. The best ability is availability. Hey, Texas, enjoy those 10 pitching starts every year that you're going to get for the millions of dollars you paid that guy. Good riddance, Jacob DeGrom. Fuck Jacob DeGrom. I wished Kodai Senga would have picked number 48 when he came over here. And guess what? He wanted, because that was his number, I believe, in Japan. And they told him no. What? What are you talking about? Kodai Senga comes out here and pitches 2 games, and it's better than everything Jacob DeGrom has ever done in a New York jersey. And so I'm just so sick of it. But shout out to you, Mike, for getting a Lindor jersey. Shout out to the Mets for honoring that and correcting a huge mistake by even making Jacob DeGrom jerseys. It's awful. Jacob DeGrom handicap parking stickers. That's what they should be making out there. That's the only thing he's good for over there, Jacob DeGrom. So sick of that guy. Sorry to
No, you're good. Yeah. I know we're not talking a lot of baseball on this show, but I mean, even if Jacob DeGrom could pitch this past weekend, he'd probably still beat the Yankees because God, they showed up to Texas and were like, baseball, what's that? No. And got creamed. And of course, I mean, it doesn't help that half the roster's on the fucking IL. But anyways, I've spent all day being angry about hockey. I don't want to continue by being angry about baseball. So let's continue to talk hockey. Germ, what is going on with teams that can't fill arenas? Because as much as I like the Panthers advancing next round, South Florida isn't necessarily
it's not a sports town.
It's not necessarily a sports town, right?
Yeah.
It's particularly hockey.
Right.
But they have decided that for this round, they are banning ticket sales for non-U.S. citizens, and it's because they're playing a Canadian team.
Oh, hold on. Let me drop an air horn for these guys, man. I like hold on. When I first saw this bird, I said heady play. But then I thought petty play. Which one is it? And I think it's both. I think it can be petty and heady. Absolutely, you do this. Now, here's their mistake. They shouldn't stop people from buying tickets. If I was in charge, I would increase the price of the tickets for people who buy them in Canada. And just to up the ante a little bit, just to kick up the petty a little bit, you could only buy seats in the upper bowl. You're not getting TV seats, fella. If you want to come and enjoy your team, not only are you going to pay more, you're going to have to sit up top, away from the cameras. That's what you can do.
Yeah.
You guys are up north. Well, you stay up north above the ice. You're not touching the lower bowl out here. I love this. I know teams do this all the time, competitive edge. But I mean, if you're the Panthers, you're not even supposed to be here. You just upset the greatest team of all time. You're on a roll. South Florida as a whole is having a moment. I mean, think about it. You have the Panthers that upset, and they were the 8th seed, correct? So they upset.
Yeah, they were the wild card.
League's best team, right? You have the 8th seed Miami Heat beat Milwaukee, who was the NBA's best team, and then you have FAU made it to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Miami made it to the Final Four, and Miami women made it to the Elite 8. So talk your shit, Florida. Good for you. Good for you. Up them, man. Listen, I hate to be that guy, but fuck Canada. All right, listen. Hey, sorry,
it's their sport. It's hockey. Look, the Tampa Bay did this. I think it was last year when they played Florida, where you had, I think it was a father-son bought tickets to like this Cadillac Club or some expensive ice level seat. And when they had their Florida gear on and they went to go to their seats, they were told you can't wear that in this section. Only Tampa Bay gear can be worn in this section. And it made the news. And I thought that was dumb. You want to know why? Because if like don't limit the sales to other fans, why don't you just give a discount to your fans to sit in the lower bowl? Like, especially if the team owns those tickets. Now, obviously, resale is going to be a problem no matter what, because if I'm a Panthers ticket holder and I can't make that game and none of my friends can go, what am I going to do? I'm going to try to sell it for a profit. Like, that just makes sense. I don't care who buys it as long as I get the money in my account. Yeah. So, but if the ticket controls the team in the section, put it at a discount to your most loyal fans. Upgrade the fans you have. Take a whole section from the 300 or whatever your nosebleed level is, bring them down, fill the seats as a reward, and then resell those tickets. Like, what do you do? I think limiting only makes you look completely petty. And I think it honestly makes the franchise look horrible, because the first thought is you can't sell these tickets enough to your fans. Like, you can't fill this with your fans. Yeah. Like, to me, it's completely mind blowing.
I mean, I do. Yes, I'm with you there. I agree. But the Panthers are a small market team, so I understand it. They have to do something. You don't, like we talked about the Rangers earlier. Yeah. You know, that's another reason why the Devils fans are probably upset. Rangers travel well. Me and you went to the Canes game, and more than half the arena was Rangers fans. I mean, that's and the Canes were good that year. Like it's just certain teams just have it. And when you have the spotlight on you, especially when you upset NHL's top team, you want to do something, maybe this galvanizes people to show up. They had the Panthers had the highest rated playoff series, and I'm sure a lot of that had to do with the Game 7 and all the eyes were on it, and I'm sure that inflated the overall numbers or the average numbers. But they had the highest rated games throughout these playoffs so far. So why not? Why not save those seats for your fans? You know, and you know, I think all home teams residents should have dibs on the home games. Hey, Toronto, or that's who they're playing. Yeah, Toronto. You could do the same thing for people traveling from the United States, if that's what you want to do. But on a more funnier level, I mean, are we shocked, Bert? Are we shocked that Florida, of all states, the state that is literally banning free speech, the state that's literally banning books in schools, teaching certain subjects, are being this type of petty? I know tickets are child's play for them. So they just like to ban things that don't go with what they're doing. But a lot of smart fans, get a VPN. Uncle Jerm is going to teach you some things. This is how I get away with illegal sports betting. Get a VPN, get an American address, and buy your tickets. They'll never know. Get a Florida address. They'll never know, because that's how they do it, right? That's how technically I can't go on DraftKings or go on FanDuel and place bets, because then they ping my IP address, they ping my phone, they see that I'm in North Carolina. Oh, can't bet in North Carolina, so I'm not allowed to actually place bets. So I have to use like their little fake money. But surprise, surprise, your boy pays $99 a year for a VPN. I can be anywhere in the country. And anytime I place my bets on my Sixers, I turn on that VPN and bet away. But you could do that. So, I mean, how many people know that? I'm sure it's not going to stop I'm sure when you look at the TV, you're going to see Maple Leafs fans. And obviously, I'm sure there's Maple Leafs fans in Florida.
Exactly. I mean, and I even heard somewhere there's a lot of like retired, Toronto wins or Canadians from Toronto that end up going to Florida for retirement. So we might still see, Toronto fans in Florida. It might not matter. They may, depending on the outcome of tonight's game. And hey, listen, there's 6 minutes left in the third, and Florida's up 4-2. I mean, they could be rolling into Florida up 2-0. So, let's see what happens. There's always ways around it. But to come out and even just advertise this, to me, is just, it's so silly. It really is. Like, I'm
with you. It is silly. Do you have a game ball you want to give out?
Yes, yeah, and it's football related, it's draft related too, and shocking coming from a Giant fan, but nothing warms my heart and even made me tear up a little bit more than the thought of a long-term scout for football drafting his own son for the
Yeah, that
team
was
he
awesome.
works for. So Chris Vaughn, who is the team's assistant director of college scouting for the Dallas Cowboys, was able to not just have the organization draft his son. He was the one that made the call to him as well. Deuce Vaughn was drafted, and just to see his reaction first when it was announced that they were taking him, and obviously he got very emotional, but to hear his voice, talk to his son, and not only, I mean, when you think about it, and this is what sports guys live for, or sports individuals live for as a whole, but like, you think about all of the practices he took him to, all of the football knowledge he shared with him, all the games he's been to him from Pee-wee level all the way through to college. And now, you get to welcome your son into not only a world that you have been living in, but the professional world of the NFL, and see your son and how you've prepared him and how hard he's worked play at the highest level for a franchise. And as much as we talk shit on them, but a franchise like the Cowboys too, man, that there was just something so awesome about that. So my game ball goes to both of them. Honestly, I'm giving it to Chris Vaughn, who was the father. But I mean, collectively, just what a great story.
My game ball is going to go to Joel Embiid for winning the NBA MVP. That guy's been through a lot. It's well deserved. He's the first Sixer since Allen Iverson to even be in consideration for the MVP. I mean, he's been a finalist or a runner-up the last couple years, but now that he's finally got it, he's a two-time scoring champion. He's an absolute legend in Philly already. He's our most precious athlete. And so I want to give my game ball to him, and to celebrate Joel Embiid winning the MVP for Philadelphia, you can go over to the Give Us a Shot Network shop at www.giveusashot.network and get your MVB t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Use the promo code SHOTBOYS with a Z, and you can get free shipping and some money off. We are doing another Give Us a Shot Network production at Bankroll Philadelphia. Ty and Mike will be over there with Sean Brace and Buster from Q102. Sean Brace, obviously, from Fox Sports The Gambler, to do another live watch party for the Sixers Celtics game 2. James Harden dropped 45 and got us a win without Joel Embiid, who has a knee injury, but hopefully he can play in game 2. But this is about Joel Embiid winning the MVP, so we have a new shirt out. You can get that today. It is on the website at giveusashot.network/shop. Go ahead and cop that. And remember to use the promo code SHOTBOYS with a Z so you can get some money off and free shipping. The watch party thing, 5,000 viewers for the last watch party. So shout out to Fox Sports The Gambler and Sean Brace. Shout out to Mike and Ty for putting that together. They're going to do it again tomorrow. Tip-off is at 8, so I'm sure they'll go live a little bit before then. Sean Brace and Buster will have some parlays. So if you're not doing nothing, head on down to Bankroll in Philly on Chestnut. Or you can just watch on the Fox Sports The Gambler YouTube page. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to them. And lastly, Bert, I will say to Joel Embiid, rightfully so, the distinguished honor.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
The gosh darn GOAT.